So March 17th was our last sale that we had. And then, so I wasn't going to post anything regarding sales or whatnot. But then this past weekend, we had two more sales come through. And you know what? We just hit level three. So that is a huge bump up into being able to upload more cards and inventory. If you're new here, I'm Brandon and I run Tico's Cards. But in this series, we are taking a TCGplayer store from level 1 all the way to level 4 and showing you the good days and the bad days, including the zero sales that we've had and the lack of me uploading a video about it. This is just a hobby that something that I like to do. It breaks the monotony of my normal 9 to 5 of being a platoon sergeant in the United States Army. So for me, like, time is precious. So I do a lot of work after work or in the early mornings when I get some free time. Now that we hit level 3, consistency is really where it's going to shine right now, because now we can have up to $50,000 cards in inventory, and being able to upload that much, that's going to take some time. I don't even have that much. I only have the 4,000 cards plus what I opened to the prismatic evolutions and I put on the store to sell. So yes, this video is and sort of say an update keeping with the series. And like I said, since March 17th, we haven't had any sales until the 21st and the 22nd, which both of those did go out yesterday morning. I dropped them off at the post office because I was out, and I know it was Sunday, but they were going to get out first thing today. So out of those Dominaria remastered cards that I've uploaded, the foil, like, who would have thought a retro frame foil fireball is going to sell? And well, sure enough, like, it did. And I'm a fan of like the old school Magic from of like, I stopped playing back in 2013, but even before then, like, I had stopped playing back in like 03, 2003. So like there have been a lot of breaks, and my favorite like block from Magic the Gathering was the Urza's block, the original. But yeah, it is crazy seeing how much like Magic the Gathering has changed, because back when I joined the army back in 2013, Commander was just like something local. Like, pods started up, and I was like, nah, I'm not gonna play. Like, I'm fine. And then, sure enough, like, more people in the army like Magic the Gathering, Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh, One Piece. So the culture's grown, and even here out of Fort Hood, Texas, like, there are local game stores that are very profitable and have some upscale commander tournaments. If we're like talking about Magic the Gathering, I haven't really like dove deep into the Pokemon scene at the local game stores. But yeah, since like coming here and reaching out to the local community and stuff, and then actually finding soldiers in my current unit that actually play, like going to NTC, and our whole platoon's worth of medics were playing Magic the Gathering Commander out in the box during downtime. I mean, you got to do something to pass the time, and it breaks the monotony of playing spades or rummy or gin rummy. And it really amazed me how much, like, how many soldiers play like card games, for instance. And hell, Lord of Lips, he said in one of his videos, in his TikTok videos, that you would be surprised at the amount of quote unquote nerds that are in the army that like all of these things, including Star Wars, Star Trek, and Warhammer, you name it. So 50,000 cards, that's a lot of cards. And with what I have now, we're just going to list, I'm going to try and go with 100 cards a day, and we're just going to list the majority of those with the amount of time that I have, just to generate more cards, more inventory, more sales. And more sales will get us to level 4 quicker, but we still need to have 51 orders reach their expected delivery date to reach level 4. So the bulk Magic the Gathering that I have, like listing 50,000 cards, yes, it's going to be a daunting task, but they're broken down by set. And I'm just going to use Dominaria Remastered and the Brothers War, for instance. When you go under the inventory tab on TCGplayer and you select Magic, and then you break it down to what set, then you can list it. Like, it's easier to list that way versus having to type each individual card and searching for them and then pulling it up and researching the pricing and then updating it that way. This is only to get us to level 4. Once we get to level 4, we have plenty more options to update our inventory quicker, and like that's what we're going to end up using once we reach level 4. If I had to start over making a TCGplayer store, I would have everything. I wouldn't even start a video until one, I got approved, and two, the microtransactions went through. And then once that was done, 100 cards were uploaded into inventory. So with those 100 cards, I would have done more research and verified that, like, oh, these cards are really going to sell versus starting with the 4,000 cards and picking out a chunk of like 100 cards, the Dominaria Remastered set. So I think that's where everything kind of slowed down a little bit with those cards, for instance, because in the cards I uploaded, I didn't have play sets of 4. And having play sets of 4 is kind of a big thing because if people play modern, standard, which I know Dominaria Remastered's out of the block, but like if you play modern, for instance, or commander is just buying one card at a time or whatever card you need. So, and there's a lot of different avenues you can go with for the commander aspect because there's hundreds and hundreds of different theme decks, different commanders, different however you want to play the game. Or if, like, for instance, I was just looking at a Krenko deck earlier, and I've never played Krenko. I've been playing Commander for quite some time, and not once have I like thought to make a Krenko deck. But it's a straightforward and simple kind of deck. And in my personal collection for Magic the Gathering, I know I have enough goblins and enough cards to build a somewhat competitive Krenko deck, but it's not going to be like competitive to win tournaments per se, but it'll be competitive enough to be in some sort of a friendly kind of pod. And I know playing Krenko, like, I'll have a huge target on my back, just like Najila. Najila always puts a target on my back because nobody likes to go against Najila, especially when you get combos going and you have different win cons in the competitive scene with Najila. And personally, I don't think like she's really a main staple anymore. I haven't done research that shows you how long I've actually played competitive Commander, which that was like 2022 was the last time I really played competitive. All right, so here we are. We're going to be going over these sales that we just sold. On March 17th, we sold that Mantike, the lightly played one. Remember, in the previous video, I posted about one being sold, and this was the actual one that I had listed. But looking at the condition, it was lightly played. It sold as near mint. Luckily, I had two of them, another one in a binder. So I went ahead and sold, and that was the one I sent out. And I relisted this one lightly played for $7.80. So obviously, you can see the shipping price and the fee amount that they take out. On this one was March 21st, and sold a Prismatic Evolutions Dunsparce, the Pokeball pattern for 30 cents, the Stellar Crown Joltik, the full art was $5.52. The Wild Force Snom, this is another Japanese one that I had sitting in that same binder, and I was like, you know what, we're just gonna throw some of these in the TCG Player store to get some movement on the store. Sold it for $2.50. This Prismatic Evolutions Leafeon Near Mint Hollow Foil. It sold for a penny. This was a listing mistake on my part. So obviously, yes, it should not have been listed for a penny. But this is showing like, hey, I make mistakes. I'm not perfect, and this is part of the process of like you win some and you lose some. So I did not research too much into this card on like what I could have sold it for, but also this is reinforces the fact of having a bottom line, like what's going to be your baseline price, like what's going to be your floor price. So I know my other store, it's 15 cents is my floor price on most of my like commons and uncommons, and then anything more than that, like I'll price them individually. That way you maximize your profit, so to say. And this is the Dominaria Remastered Fire Blast Retro Frame. Like again, this one listed for $2.50, and it sold. Shipping was $1.42. $3.92 is the order amount, and obviously your fees are taken out. So now we're gonna go over into the Excel spreadsheet, and to show you, not gonna go over these prices anymore. We are still sitting at $22.29 in the hole with what we owe right now. Obviously the expenses and the cards were a large portion of that, and now that we hit level 3, we can list more cards and bulk up our inventory to generate more sales. Because I think with TCG Player, and I might be wrong, but if you have more cards, like the algorithm optimizes, like it optimizes and incentivizes people to buy from you, whether or not like they're looking for particular cards, but like you're more visible for other buyers, so to say. Because I know on my other TCG Player store, when I hide my inventory and then I do the training, and then I'd come back from the field or come back from NTC, and I would unhide my inventory. It took me some time to get some sales. Like they were not immediate. So, and with not doing that, I'm noticing like I am getting more sales from the get-go, but it's still a slow process. So being able to upload more cards is going to benefit the store in general. And this, like I said, this is just a series for showing you all starting from level 1, reaching level 4. And we weren't starting with a huge amount of inventory. We're just starting with the 4,000 cards with some Pokemon sprinkled in here and there. So, but yeah, with that being said, this is where we're at right now. Still $22.29 in the hole. And obviously, I am going to be needing to buy stamps again. So that's going to eat into our profit again. But it's the cost of doing business. If you like this series, if you like a series similar to this, and you're thinking about starting a TCG Player store, please leave a like, comment, and subscribe. It helps the YouTube algorithm, and I'll see you on the next one.